Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, March 8th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. On Tuesday night, the Norwood High School boys hockey team traveled to Gallo Ice Arena in Bourne to take on the Canton Bulldogs in the Division II South Sectional semifinal. Both teams took to the ice and warmed up as they would for any other game. But as the teams lined up on their respective blue lines for the national anthem, something unexpected happened.
There you go.
And there was a little bit of a delay. You could tell something was going wrong. So we were all kind of just standing there in silence waiting for something to happen. 30 seconds later, it starts playing. All right, everything's back to normal, but then it cuts out maybe like a minute into the song. And there's a small pause and everybody just starts like singing it out, the entire crowd, all the kids on the ice. And it was just kind of a surreal experience to hear everybody like come together and sing the song, even though it's like we're two teams, we're rivals, we're like going against each other to try to make it into the finals.
Although the game did not end the way the Mustangs had hoped, this is something these players will remember for a very long time.
Honestly, I think having that event in the beginning with the technical difficulties, it definitely made it something special, because if there wasn't that special moment, the game would have been a lot worse to come out of there. So it's a once in a lifetime thing, and it was amazing.
Thanks, Austin, and congrats on a great career. That was such a cool moment. This feel-good video was also broadcast on all the major Boston news networks and was even posted on some national news social media outlets. It was definitely a moment that everyone in attendance will never forget. Last Sunday evening into Monday morning, Norwood and surrounding towns experienced the biggest snowstorm of the year. In the early hours of Monday morning, snow was falling at a rate of 2 inches per hour. Accumulation totals reached near 12 inches in Norwood. Mark Ryan explains how the DPW handled the wet, heavy snow.
Hello everyone, Mark Ryan here from the Public Works Department. It's Wednesday, March 6th. I just want to give you a snow and ice update. On Monday, March 4th, we all experienced quite a significant snowstorm. What was projected to be about 5 to 7 inches ended up being 14 inches here in Norwood of a wet, sloppy mix. So DPW on Sunday night, March 3rd, went out, started about 9 o'clock at night, salting the roads, and then 1 a.m. on Monday morning we started plowing the streets and the sidewalks. At about 1 o'clock we had about 2.5 inches on the ground, but from then on, for the next 5 or 6 hours, it was snowing at a rate of close to 2 inches per hour. So it was pretty significant event. A lot of snow in a short amount of time, but Public Works was up to the task. We had 50 pieces of equipment out on the roads, taking care of the 430 streets that we have, totaling 110 miles. We also had 7 sidewalk plows out there taking care of the 35 miles of sidewalks that we removed snow. With the type of snow we had, the volume and the consistency, it does bog down with the sidewalks. We weren't able to finish as quickly as we thought, so we were right back at it the next day on Tuesday. As soon as the snow stopped, we went out and started clearing crossing guard locations and around area businesses outside of the center in South Norwood. Last evening at 2 in the morning, we started snow removal operations in Norwood Center. Got quite a bit done there, and we'll be heading to South Norwood for Thursday morning March 7th to start removing snow so people can get to the businesses and in the stores down in that area as well. All in all, we got 14 inches in that storm, and I think right now we're all done with this winter. Let's pray for spring. Let's play ball.
Thanks, Mark, and thank you for the countless hours that the DPW staff has worked this week to remove the snow. Stay tuned after this break to see this year's celebration of languages and cultures and for this week's Living Local.
Hi Norwood, Katie Seastead here, Program Director at the Recreation Department. We're here today talking about our summer applications. We have a couple positions available. We have lifeguards, pool maintenance, pool tag checkers, as well as camp counselors. Our applications are now available online or at the Civic Center. We strongly encourage our applicants to reach out if they have any questions, not the families, the applicants. All camp counselor applications need to be in by March 31st. All pool-related positions are open until filled, so we strongly encourage our candidates to get in here sooner rather than later. Once again, we are hiring for camp counselors, lifeguards, pool maintenance, as well as pool tag checkers. Any questions in regards to pools, please email Howard Weinstein. Any ones about camp counseling or summer camps, please email me. Thank you, Norwood, and we look forward to employing your kids.
Be my camp counselor. Be my lifeguard. Will you help check the pool tags?
Hey guys, I'm Allie. I was a camp counselor. I can't wait for camp this year and I'm looking for new coworkers and counselors, so apply now at the Civic or online by March 31st.
Welcome back. Thursday night, students, teachers, and families celebrated many different cultures when the Foreign Language Department of the Norwood Public Schools held their 15th annual celebration of language and cultures. For NHS Spanish teacher Michelle Kelly, it is one of her favorite nights of the year.
Oh gosh, we have the celebration of cultures here. This is National Foreign Language Week and we culminate on Thursday evening and we invite the community out, and this is just amazing show out.
There were over 10 different cultures represented throughout the night. Students and teachers transformed the dining hall into a cultural center.
Okay, so my stand is an African American stand. That is my race, and I'm here with Sierra. And basically, we're here to serve you soul food. And I made baked mac and cheese for you guys. And I wanted to bring my culture to the school, let everyone else taste it, see what it looks like. There's images on my poster board, and it shows just a little about my culture. And I just wanted to bring in a foreign language night.
So this is our table, the Puerto Rican palace. We have some rice, Puerto Rican rice. We had empanadas, that's like with beef inside and fry them. We had flan, we had coconut pudding. It was so good. So as you can see, we have only this left. So this was a great year. I hope next year can be better, and enjoy.
The night was filled with much more than just food and drink. There were live music performances and students entertained the crowd with gladiator fights.
Unbelievable. Mrs. Kaplan, very great job. It was her first year being the department head. Hands and hats off to her, but honestly, we couldn't do it with all of our colleagues. Our department really pulled together, and you can also see Miss Apostoli and Miss Newman and Mrs. Bustler and missing people I know, Miss Romaine. Everybody comes out and they just support him. It's just great.
Great job by the Foreign Language Department for putting on another great event. Now let's take a look at this week's Living Local.
My name is Julie Vecchio, and we are here at Custom Art Framing on Central Street in Norwood.
Custom Art Framing has been a fixture in Norwood since 2003. Owner Julie Vecchio brings years of picture framing expertise to a unique customer service-centered frame shop.
Our main focus is custom picture framing. We also offer pre-made frames, but again, our focus is custom, and so we will walk you through the whole process of designing and manufacturing your special project.
Julie works very hard to help you find your style and to make your framed art exactly what you want within your budget. Although art and photos are the most common items, she also frames a wide range of other objects.
Well, you would think that we would only frame photos, but we photographs, oil paintings, jerseys, sports jerseys, any kind of jerseys, wedding dresses, anything. I've even framed bugs and drum cymbals and teeth.
In 2007, the shop's gallery added to its focus on affordable artwork by local artists with the creation of Gallery 9. With this expansion comes fun and exciting opportunities for artists and art collectors to interact face-to-face with our First Friday Artist Reception Series.
The first Friday of most months, we try to focus on one of our gallery artists with a reception, light fare and beverages, and it's free to the public, and a meet and greet, see the wonderful artwork by local artists. And we actually offer, the art gallery is open to the public all week long. In the gallery, we offer, we showcase artwork by local artists, everything from ceramics, earrings, of course paintings, pastels, photography, watercolors, prints, a lot to choose from, a lot to see, a lot to see.
Custom framing and the art gallery aren't the only things offered at the shop. Art and music classes are offered and can be found on their website.
So along with showcasing art by local artists, custom picture framing, pre-made frames, we also offer art classes for children and adults in most medium, watercolor, pastel, charcoal, oil, acrylic, pencil. We also have a partnership with Band Gig School of Music where we offer ukulele classes. The Artful Strummers are on Tuesdays. There's a beginning class and a more advanced class.
Julie's love for Norwood stems from the sense of community the residents have. Supporting local stores like hers is important to the residents, which inspires her to give back herself.
We do yearly shows for the Norwood Arts Honor Society at Norwood High School. So every May we do a show for them, for the senior artists moving on to college.
If you are interested in any of the many things offered at Custom Art Framing and Gallery 9, stop by the store or contact.
They can stop in anytime. Our hours are Tuesday through Friday, 10 until 6. Saturday 10 until 4. They can call us at 781-762-3300. They can visit us on the website at customartframing.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram. We're all over the place.
Stay tuned after this break to find out what is happening in your local government.
Hi folks, Selectman Paul Bishop here with Town Manager Tony Mazzucco, coming to you with an updated public service announcement regarding our pajama drive in our quest to beat born. As many of you are aware, the whole community is joining with the Morrill Memorial Library in the annual Boston Bruins Pajama Drive, where we try to collect new pajamas for kids ages 0 to 18, for children throughout the state who do not have a clean, safe, comfortable pair of pajamas.
We're doing great this year so far. Norwood has already beat last year's donation totals by over 100 pairs of pajamas. We've challenged the town of Bourne and the Jonathan Bourne Public Library because every year they donate the most pajamas to the statewide pajama drive. Our goal this year is to beat Bourne, and we're well on our way there.
I want to thank everyone so far that has been donating. We have donation bins available in every town facility, including the library, the senior center, the town hall, the civic, the Department of Public Works, and our light department, and so on and so on.
There's a lot of community partners who have donated so far, including Siemens Health and Ears in Norwood, the Norwood Elks, the Winter Concert Series attendees, and especially our library staff who put together the drive every year, including Library Director Charlotte Kennelly and Library Youth Services Director Kate Teague, as well as the many volunteers that make the program happen every year.
Most importantly, we have a big announcement about the campaign. As of today, all Norwood schools have joined in the effort to beat Bourne. Norwood High School, the Coakley Middle School, the Oldham, the Cleveland, the Prescott, the Callahan, the Balch, the Willett, even the Little Mustangs preschool, as well as school administration. They've all joined together, including St. Catherine's School. So all the towns in the town of Norwood are now on board, and if you have a student in any one of these schools, please bring in a pair of unused new pajamas so that we can make them available to children in Norwood.
We have a little under 3 weeks until the campaign ends, and we have a lot more donations to collect. You can donate at any of these locations in Norwood.
We're happy to compete, and we think we can beat Bourne. As a matter of fact, we know we can. But this is really about providing warm, safe clothing for children in need. So thank you, and let's keep the donations coming. Thank you again.
Welcome back to Norwood News. At this week's Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, member Phil Riley expressed frustration with the project at 429 Neponset Street. The owners had submitted a request for an extension for a condominium project that has spent the past 14 years in the construction phase.
When you folks were here the last time, there was more talk about problems with the OCC. They weren't getting together with the Conservation Commission. There was this problem and there was that problem. Now you're telling us that an engineer indicated that he was going to send a letter back in October to the Commission. You have no copy of the letter. You have only the word of somebody that he was going to send it. Al Getz says that as of December 6th, they sent a letter out, and there's been no response, no inquiry, no effort to straighten out what's going on. And quite frankly, this is, I hate to say it, but I'm sorry, but this is typical of what has gone on with this case for months and years on end. The original application in this case was made January 13, 2005. And it's been going on for years and years and years of continuance after continuance after extension. You folks had the benefit of the 3 or 4 year extension that the legislature enacted that carried it through the mid-teens. And now here we are again, however many months, it's been 6 months, 5 months since our last hearing, and you're still embroiled with the Conservation Commission. No apparent indication that I can see from the presentation that there's any reasonable likelihood that that's going to be ironed out anytime soon. I frankly have come to the point that I honestly think it's time to pull the plug on this project. I mean, I am not at all inclined to grant any further extensions in the matter. I don't see any likely prospect that anything's going to happen on this case.
Zoning Board member Jack Perry also voiced his concerns with the project, stating a development of this size should not take 14 years to complete.
I've done work from Maine to Florida, and I've never had anything like this keep requesting additional information. And I think I would like to close the hearing. I really would, because if this is going on and on and on for so many years.
The Zoning Board of Appeals voted unanimously to deny the extension request. The Board of Selectmen welcomed back their 5th member last Tuesday evening. Selectman Alan Howard returned to the chambers after sustaining an injury in early February. Howard was grateful to be back and had a few words to say about his time away from Town Hall recuperating.
This is going under the heading of personal privilege, if you will, as you could expect, my first meeting back. I'd like to, I complimented our fire department, and I can't say enough about these people that on the occurrence of a substantial accident, to have these folks available to get you to medical treatment immediately is incredible. But the one that's the shining star in the whole deal, who was at my bedside 12 hours a day, every day, and since I've been home, which was a week ago Saturday, she has been, I can't say too much because I'll get very emotional, but she's been so over the top serving my needs, which have been a lot because I have to use a walker, and that's my mode of transportation. And thank you so much. You're a doll. Yay! Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yay! Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard.
At the meeting, Chief Brooks spoke about a grant recently received by the Police Department for traffic enforcement. Awarded by the Highway Safety Division, the grant will focus on pedestrian and bicycle enforcement. Chief Maurice was joined by firefighter Michael Chisholm to discuss some new technology acquired by Norwood Fire Department.
As the chief said, we're moving into the future with the technology. One of the things that we've implemented is our video laryngoscope blade. At the paramedic level, as you know, it's the highest level of pre-hospital care that the town of Norwood provides. Certain critical patients, whether it be traumas or people who suffer some type of heart attack and go into cardiac arrest where their heart stops, it becomes imperative that we secure their airway. And the reason being is for patient outcome and to prevent from losing it, because as we all know, the brain, the heart can't survive without oxygen. But they insert the tool into the person's mouth and pass a breathing tube into their trachea. What we have here is a video version of that. And what that does, that allows us to see in real time the person's vocal cords, their airway, their trachea, and it actually gives us an ability to record it. And why that's so important is nowadays with our EPCR, our reports that we write after we give patient care, it allows us to include it in that, and it also allows us to show to the doctor this was secured, it's in there, it's necessary.
The last appointment on the agenda was Michael Viano, a consultant working with the owners of 289 Walpole Street at the corner of Fisher and Walpole Streets, otherwise known as the Governor's Mansion. Viano proposed a historical overlay district to protect the mansion.
But we're here to discuss a possible historic preservation overlay zoning bylaw that we would be putting on the warrant for the spring, I think, special town meeting, but I'm looking for some guidance on that.
With the bylaw, usually when we have the bylaw, we also have a map of where the properties are. So would this concept be to just change the zoning bylaw to say any piece of property in the town that meets these criteria it applies to?
Yes, and I did have that discussion.
And we think, based on your testimony, that there might be 3 or 4.
I don't think that this Board of Selectmen is the proper forum to be discussing this, because this is a proposed overlay district zoning bylaw change. The proper forum is to go through the standard procedure. I don't think it's the job of the Board of Selectmen to propose such an overlay district. I think that the interest should come either from the property owner who goes through the planning board, who goes through the proper channel of public hearings with information sessions for the people in the neighborhood, and then the planning board hearings, and then to town meeting, all in logical, orderly fashion.
The next Board of Selectmen meeting will include the annual budget hearings and will begin early at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, March 12th. The Budget Balancing Committee continued their work to balance the fiscal year 2020 in preparation for this year's annual town meeting. The first order of business was the reorganization of committee seats. School Committee Chair Maya Bodenhofer was elected as the new chair of the Budget Balancing Committee.
In the past, we've had a sort of a rotating system here, so I will entertain nominations we'll start Ann Haley.
I'll nominate Maya Bodenhofer.
Maya is the current chair of the school committee, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the school committee's turn anyway. Is that correct?
Yes.
Second. Do we have a second on that? Okay. Do we have any other nominations for chairman? Hearing none, then the nominations are closed. So let's move on the nomination. The sole nomination we have, Maya Bodenhofer, to be Budget Balancing Subcommittee chairman for the coming year. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
In an effort to help the school committee level fund their budget, the committee voted to move around $500,000 from free cash to the school's FY20 budget.
And basically, I think your motion is to add that $509,290 to the school committee target budget.
Correct.
Right? So
target budget, correct.
Okay, so we have a motion made and seconded, and I think we're now clear on the details. Any further discussion? All in favor? Oh, did you have further discussion?
Is it free cash that we're moving, or
yes, it's
okay,
free cash.
Free cash.
It's
Just
free
wanted to
cash.
make sure.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. That brings the schools closer to being level funded, and does make it somewhat easier to balance our budget.
Budget Balancing will meet again in the upcoming weeks. To watch complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to find out what is happening in your schools. Welcome back. This week we have a special guest reporting our school news. Jake Watts is a TV production student from Carlsbad, California, who is visiting Norwood High School this week as part of an exchange program. As we reported a few weeks ago, NHS senior Joe Spadorsha traveled to Carlsbad to learn about their TV broadcast class. Jake has now made his way to the East Coast and will spend the next week here in Norwood learning all about the NHS TV program. Jake, take it away.
Hi guys, let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. Not only is it Read Across America Week, but it's also Read Across in Norwood Week. This nationwide observance coincides with the birthday of Dr. Seuss on March 2nd, who is known for writing children's books. Down in San Diego, he has a house on La Jolla shores, and when I went on a kayaking tour, I learned that he gained the inspiration for the Lorax by looking at seals in the cove. At the Prescott School, Miss Money came in and spoke about financial literacy with the first and second graders. She stressed the importance of making money, saving money, and planning for your future. Thanks to the Blue Hills Bank Foundation and the Prescott PTO for bringing this important assembly to the students. At the Cleveland School, everyone dropped everything and read on Friday to celebrate Read Across America. Celebrity readers visited the Cleveland to promote the joy of reading. Let's take a look at some familiar faces. At the Willett School, Norwood Police Officer Shore visited Miss Reynolds' class to introduce a new Norwood Police book and read The Cat in the Hat. Student Seamus O'Neill was pleasantly surprised to discover he is in the book. Coakley Middle School had therapy dogs in as part of Read Across America Week. Mr. Murphy brought in her newly trained therapy dog, Diego, and they had their returning therapy duo, Alicia Fitzpatrick and Bandit. The dogs were there to help the students build confidence with their reading skills. Several of the students that are learning English took this opportunity to read aloud to a friendly dog face. According to Dr. Frasick, we may have gone to the dogs, but in the best way possible. The Little Mustang Preschool kicked off the celebration of Dr. Seuss' birthday with some guest readers. The children enjoyed having some awesome celebrities from the Norwood Public Schools and the community in their classrooms. These guests read some of their favorite books to our students. The Little Mustangs also enjoyed a variety of hands-on learning experiences, incorporating the themes from some of Dr. Seuss' stories. They used their engineering skills to stack cups to build Cat in the Hat towers, and also played some math games by rolling and counting dice to build Cat in the Hat. They also created some pretty amazing artwork. Little do the children know how they are developing their fine motor skills, visual spatial skills, and ability to follow multi-step directions while creating their mini masterpieces. They also got ready to set sail on their LMPA friendship. Each preschooler got to bring home a Lego brick to decorate with their families. The children each wrote one way they can be a kind friend to others, and we all used their bricks to build LMPA friendship. Everyone at LMPA is ready to sail through the rest of the school year together. It has been another exciting week at Callahan. Students and staff celebrated Read Across America with a variety of guest readers and activities. In addition, students and staff dressed as a favorite Dr. Seuss character wore red and white or pajamas. While students in Mr. DePio's 5th grade class participated in Reader's Theater, reading a script adapted from literature, which allows the audience to picture the action from hearing the script being read aloud. Mrs. McAvoy's 2nd grade class has been working on building maglev trains. Maglev trains are magnetic. The class learned about being engineers and working in teams to figure out how they can get their train to work on the tracks. A new STEM outreach program for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade girls at Callahan Elementary School met for its 2nd time this past week thanks to former Callahan students Jenny Carroll and Jen Kerala, who are volunteering their time. During the program, the girls learn about all areas of the STEM field and do weekly experiments and activities to gain knowledge and experience. The first week, the girls learned about structural engineering, architecture, and product design when they built a tower made out of spaghetti, tape, and marshmallow. This past week, students learned about coding in a few fun activities where they coded the movements of each other in a race and visually coded a Lego person through a maze. Jenny Curl is currently a student at NHS, and Jen Kerala is a student at Boston University. Most recently, the whole school came together for the Brain Challenge Assembly, thanks to the PTA. Students and staff were given questions relating to health and wellness. Julian Colho in grade 1 answered the most questions for a round, astounding the host and the audience with his knowledge. This year, the blue team was victorious, but all were winners. Well, that's it for school news. For more information around the district, please check the website, Facebook, and watch NCM. From Carlsbad, California, I'm Jake Watts, visiting Norwood High School. Now, let's go to Brian Dunn for the latest sports news.
Thanks, Jake, and welcome to Massachusetts. And for those at home, welcome into the sports update for this week. My name is Brian Dunn, and the sad news is, as of today, the winter sports season for the Mustangs is officially drawn to a close. But we have some games to catch you up on, so let's get to it. One last time for the winter season. On the ice, the boys concluded their season at Gallo Ice Arena in Bourne, Massachusetts, where they took on the top-ranked Canton Bulldogs. Chris Martin would find the back of the net for the Mustangs, but that is all they would be able to do from that point forward, as the Bulldogs advanced to the D2 South Sectional Finals with a win over Norwood 6-1. Whether it was the unbeaten streak or the come from behind win over Situate, the boys had a fantastic season and can be proud of what they accomplished this year. Including TVL All-Star bids from Aiden Reardon and Chris Martin, Anthony Marchant received an honorable mention, Austin Reardon secured Goaltender of the Year, and head coach Chuck Allen wins TVL Coach of the Year. Congrats on a memorable season, boys. The girls' hoops team traveled to Pembroke to take on the Titans the Sunday prior. A ruckus crowd in the playoff atmosphere awaited them, but the young Mustang group rose to the occasion. Pembroke would take an early edge, but Norwood found their rhythm down the stretch. They cut the deficit to a single possession as late as the fourth quarter, but a quick run for the Titans was a little too much to overcome. And a fun and exciting season comes to an end, as Pembroke wins at home 46-33. I sat down with the recently awarded TVL Coach of the Year, Amy Lepley, to get her thoughts on what was an incredible hoops season. And I am once again joined by head coach of the girls basketball team, Amy Lepley. Amy, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
And I think the last time you and I talked in this studio, I believe it was right after that Westwood regular season game. And I asked you what the ultimate goal was for this team, and was to get that home game in the tournament. And not only did you seal the tournament game, but you guys ended up getting the TVL Large Championship bid, which was a huge accomplishment. So just talk about what it was like to secure that tournament game.
I was extremely proud of the girls. I mean, to win the TVL Large the first year in the league is a great accomplishment. They kept their eye on the prize. We faltered a little bit in the second half of that season, but they always seemed to just kind of take the next possession the next game, so I was extremely proud of them.
Thanks, Coach. To watch the full interview, tune into Sports Extra live this coming Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Track and field TVL awards are also in. All-stars include Aiden Mulligan, Paul Forrest, and Solomon King for the boys, Vivica Cord and Olivia Bodette for the girls, with Caroline Davey getting an honorable mention. On the wrestling mat, Kevin White, Danny Barron, and Cordell Souther all received All-Star nominations, and Kevin Curtis was an honorable mention for the Tri-Valley League. And a great recognition at the Bruins game last Thursday, as the former girls hockey captain Jess Keller received the MIAA Bruins Sportsmanship Award and was honored during the game against the Florida Panthers last night. And not a bad game to go to from what I was told. And with that, the winter work is done. Thank you to all that have followed along this season. We hope you stick with us for spring sports roll around. Only a couple weeks away, so stay tuned to NCM on social media for more information on broadcast scheduling and updates on the teams when they come. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Back to you, Kristen.
Thanks, Brian. The Morrill Memorial Library hosted a composting education night as part of the Together Yes Sustainability Series. Susan Clare, director of Together Yes, explains.
And tonight's was Mark Ryan of Department of Public Works talking about the town's recycling program and how we can recycle both at home and at 2 different sites that the DPW offers us, how we can get that compost free for our own use. And following his talk, Donna Lane, master gardener and member of the Norwood Community Garden and an appreciated advisor to the garden, told us how we might best use the compost we make.
Thank you to the members of Together Yes. You are a great asset to the town. The Norwood Police Department is once again selling patches. Newly designed autism awareness patches have been released and are selling quickly. For more, we send it to Officer Jerwich at the station with details on how you can get one of your own.
So this year, the Norwood Police Association, we're selling our 2019 version of the Autism Awareness patch, this one here. Last year we had sold this version, $5 a piece. All proceeds are going to local early intervention and autism centers within the town. Last year we raised over $2,000, and we're hoping with your help to do even more this year. So please stop by. Again, $5 per patch, and the money goes to local autism resources and early intervention centers. Thank you.
Thanks, Officer Jerwich. Those patches look great. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.